Welcome you all in yet another session of Money Market. In this session, I'm going to decode commercial papers because in previous session already we have discussed about what is money market, who control the money market, how does money market works, and even we have discussed about treasury bills also. But in this session, I'm going to discuss about commercial papers. So let's start with the discussion without wasting a time. If I talk about commercial paper, see guys, first understand it, commercial it means commerce. We are talking about commerce. Commerce it means again trade. Trade between, it can be two counterparts. Counterparts it means again buyer and seller, or trade it can be between multiple counterparts as well. So it depends. Alright, papers it means we are talking about trade papers. It can be agreement or any other invoice, any other paper you can say. Alright, so here we are going to talk about the same. So it means commerce, now you got it. Commerce it means trade, trade it means transactions. And when we say trade, again, without two counterparties, how will means you execute the trade? We require minimum two counterparties to execute the trade. And once we execute the trade, see, every time we cannot expect trades that will, execute on cash or in cash. It's not possible at all, because sometime you would see credit transactions, sometime you would see your counterparty will make a payment maybe next within 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or let's say 6 months, within 1 year. So it depends, because in business it's a natural process that sometime you would see immediate transaction will happen, and sometime it will take time to execute the transaction due to counterparty's obligation and all. Alright, so in that process, how we can mitigate our liquidity, or how we can maintain the liquidity in business then. Alright, so without then maintaining, see, cash is like an oxygen of your business. Without cash your business can't survive. So same way, if you don't have enough liquidity in your organization or in your bank account or in any business wherever that you work, then without that liquidity we can't survive. And to maintain that liquidity, we have a multiple different financial instruments. So instruments helps entrepreneurs or fund managers or businesses to to maintain that liquidity in business through different financial instruments. So one instrument which we have seen, which is treasury bills, because treasury bills helps government to raise liquid cash or capital from the people or bank or institutions to maintain liquidity. So same way, commercial papers helps companies or individuals to raise capital through commercial papers, so that they can raise capital for a short term period and maintain the liquidity in their business. So let's see that how your commercial paper works. We have some insightful PDFs, PPT, so that it will help it. So if we talk about commerce, again in commerce what happens? So as I said, sometime we'll have cash in your trade or transactions. If it is a cash, then you don't require commercial papers. But what if you have, let's say, executed trades, but the counterparty saying that counterparty will make payment in next 60 days. The same cash it will receive in 60 days, because let's say here is your buyer and here is your seller. So now this counterparty, see, both the counterparties need is cash. But as I said, cash will receive in next 60 days. So then how they can, capitalize that their commercial papers? You see, whenever they execute any transactions, they always, sign documentation parts. So on the documentation part, so that they can, collateralize the documents or receipts of their contracts, and they can raise funds for the business. How they can do it? See, there is a process where you can say, like, they can create a invoice, or maybe they can write something on paper, or maybe sometime that they can create a proper promissory notes, something, so that can prove it, okay, so that counterparty will make a payment, or once we receive payment from the counterpart, so that we can settle it in bank accounts and all. So you would see that obligations in place, and that would be there. All right, but yes, So basically the business transaction requirement is cash, but if there is no cash and if there is, let's say, delay in cash process, so meanwhile counterparts, they can, or any counterpart who is going to receive that cash amount, so that counterpart can submit the bills with the individual or institutions to raise short-term funding on bill amount. So that happened, and there are applications as well which offer the same facility. All right. So yeah, apart from this, again, so this is just because majority of this commercial papers which I have seen that works in trade finance business also. Trade finance, it means basically banks or institutions or investors will provide funding to the trade finance. It means transactions basically. If you have any, I'll record in detail video on trade finance, but I'll just summarize it. In trade finance, what happened, if you have any, let's say, trade receivable on XYZ, your transactions, let's say your receivable amount is 100 rupees. So that receivable amounts, that docs basically or promissory notes that you can submit with bank. So bank will help you to get a buyer of your bill at 90. So basically you will receive 90. So that person, whosoever purchased that bills from the bank, that person will receive 100 on maturity. So this is how your commercial papers or promissory notes or bill of exchange that works at a very extensive level in trade finance. All right, trade finance, as I said, I'll again take in detail session on trade finance. What is trade finance, how trade finance works and all. Or meanwhile, you can guess it. What do you understand about trade finance, or what do you know about trade finance? All right. So if I talk about commercial paper, see, governments, they cannot issue commercial papers, but government issue treasury bills. So same way, any companies, they means private or public limited companies or individual companies, they can't issue commercial papers. Sorry, any private limited companies, public limited companies or individual, they cannot issue treasury bills, but they'll issue commercial papers, and they always issue that commercial papers on discount or maybe some interest payment rates. So it depends. But in 90% cases which I have seen, they offer some discount on their commercial bills or transactions. All right. If you convert that into yields or income, so again you can compute interest payment also. But as I said, in maximum cases which I have seen, they offer on discount. Then again, so here, so you can buy that commercial bills as an investor. You can buy that at 100 and you can sell same at maturity, let's say, which is at 1050 rupees. So it means net here 50 rupees would be your profit basically. All right, now let's discuss about some features of T-bills from the issuer perspective and as well as from the investor perspective. Why issuer issue the T-bills? Again, this is very important from your intake perspective. If I talk about commercial papers is an unsecured and negotiable money market instruments issued in the form of promissory note. Negotiable, it means you can negotiate on that particular financial instruments on pricing. Let's say pricing is 100, so you can negotiate and you can take it at 90, so your benefit would be basically 100. So this is how you can negotiate. All right. So again, CPs are issued by companies to raise short-term debt. This commercial paper is a part of short-term financial instruments, and it will help companies to mitigate their short-term capital requirement. Again, in terms of, if I talk about issuer, why they issue T-bills? Because they, if they issue T-bills and raise capital, so their interest payment should be very low as compared to personal loan, business loan, term loans, and all other loans, and even the expenditure which is attached to the any investments. If you raise, let's say, funds through bonds or loans, again it's a time-consuming process. It will take time to get list that financial instruments in the market. It will see it's a very lengthy process. But if I go through this commercial paper process, within a week that I can raise funds and mitigate my working capital requirement. All right. Again, this one is it's a very access to short-term funding. So commercial papers give you access to the short-term funding because max to max duration would be 271 days that you can raise capital through your commercial papers. So again, in terms of flexibility and liquidity, it's a highly liquid financial instruments, and that's why it is a part of your money market as well. All right, here you can means investor recognize is and low cost of establishment, no collateral, which is no collateral would be here basically. If you lose, means if you see, you can even lose 100% money from a investing perspective. If you see, right, from an investor perspective, highly liquid means this commercial papers will offer you higher interest payments than portfolio in terms of as a. See, if you want to diversify your investments, you can look for these options, flexibility as well as liquidity as well. And but from a risk perspective, I would say very high risk in this particular instruments. All right. Sometime your question would be like, sir, can I see this in a format? How it looks like? See, format looks like this. Stamp of that in a particular company, bill of exchange, name would be that, amount, total amount. Then again, total amount, which is the person who is going to receive this drawee, basically that person will receive that amount. Draw, it means who have issued this one. The term, if you see, 1 month after the date, pay to Mr. A, order to sum of rupees for value received. So this person will receive, means drawee will receive that amount because drawer actually issue that this bills to the counterparty. And always this, as I said, so see, actual transaction value would be something different. Let's say in this case the amount is $5 lakhs. So maybe this amount means actually purchase amount would be something around 4,90,000 or 95,000. So within, let's say, 1 week or 2 weeks, you will receive benefits of $5,000 or $10,000. So that's how you can you can look for an opportunities which can help you to convert your time into money quickly. So that's why means that commercial papers are also recognized. All right, so I hope now you got the benefits and even understanding of commercial papers, because in terms of issuer and investors, see, both the perspectives are very important, so you should know it. Then how your bills looks like, I have a couple of examples so that you can refer, because sometimes the most important question would be like, so how the bill bills looks like. See, this one is another example of bills. Here, 8 months after date, I promised to pay to the order of Peter P, $25,000 and signature. See, it can be plain paper also. So you can convert any plain paper into your commercial papers by promising someone on paper that you will make payment. Right, maybe after 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So that paper also you can consider it as your commercial paper. Commercial, as I said, commercial, it means business. If you see, if you write something on paper and if that contains business information, that becomes a commercial paper. Then in other form, which I have seen, like formal form, which you would see, which is bill of exchange, where you can see number, amounts, everything in details. It's like a check format that you can see, right? And even including the amount, total amount that who is going to receive and how much. This one is again another form which you can see, it looks like a check, but it's not a check. Even check is also comes under your commercial papers, because the bank issue the checks, and the P means receiver will receive that check amounts and all. All right. So these are the forms which you can go through. Then apart from this. Yes, and this is again another form which, if you see, counterparty will promise to make a payment to the whosoever will accept the this bills and all. So this is how it looks like, your promissory notes. That means we have seen couple of examples how your commercial paper looks like. If you read the language, for value received on dated the undersigned jointly and severally as principal promise to pay to the order of stand investment company 11,200, whatever means amount is, then interest payment, then first year, second year, third year. So counterparty will make a payment, interest will be payable semi-annually. So see, this is how basically your commercial papers works. These are the formats which we have seen. All right, and apart from that, I would say the types of commercial paper, sometime you would expect questions. If I talk about commercial papers, see, I'll take this even in details, not now. In next session, I'll take it. Your check payment is also comes under one is draft. Any draft that you can also consider as a commercial papers. Then any notes. Notes, it means we have seen that already means on second page of this PPT I have showed that notes how it looks like. So that notes I'm talking about. Then your check payment is also comes under your commercial papers. Apart from that, you would see where draft, notes, check, or any other paper. Promissory note. Promissory note also that comes under your commercial paper. So these are the types basically. So where that comes under your commercial papers. We'll discuss these types in our next session in details. Alright, this was just about that I wanted to make you understand about commercial papers and all. So yes, I'm done with commercial papers. If you have any questions around it, you can comment so that I'll take it in my next session. But yes, so quickly just let me walk you through types of commercial papers. If I talk about draft it means it's a written guidance by an individual to another to pay stipulated sum to the third party. If I talk about check, it is a unique draft, spelling is incorrect, CHEQUE, check. It is unique draft that where the drawee is a bank actually, so it means bank accept and make the payment to us. Note, here an individual is promised to pay another individual or bank or a particular amount. Certificate of deposit also comes under your basically types of commercial papers. In this type, a bank confirms the receipt of deposit, and according to the security, there are two types of commercial papers, which is unsecured commercial papers and another one is secured commercial papers. It is also known as asset-backed commercial papers as well. So if you see any backed assets and all. Alright. So these are the types basically where you can see that comes under your commercial papers. Yes, this was all about your commercial papers. If you have any questions around this, you can post in comment section. So in next session, I'm going to discuss about in detail about different types and with more examples so that you can understand it. So yes, by the way, just let me know if you have any questions around it. Otherwise, I'm done with this commercial paper session. So if you want if you have any other topic, you can suggest in comment section. I'll try my level best to bring more examples so that will help you to understand that financial products in more details. If you need any if you want a session on any of the topics, just update that in comment sections. We'll take it. And by the way, I'm gonna schedule live live trainings for private equity and real estate private equity as well. So if you are interested for that, then you can connect with us so that you can enroll and you can attend trainings, because in that trainings we're going to cover live fund examples in Excel. So how we prepare financial statements, trial balance and everything for a funds, for a real estate funds basically. So if you're interested for that, then you can connect with us. I'll help you to register for the same. Thank you very much for watching this. We'll see you in the next session. Thank you.